Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for staying with us. Alongside Matt McCormick, I'm Anthony Nahill, and we now have the second installment of our Fall Flashback.
That's right, guys. Let's see what the rundown has for us for the second installment.
We'll start with the physics of cheerleading with CHS's very own Mr. Crowley, and then we're going to dive into the successful seasons of the boys and girls soccer teams.
Our By the Numbers segment will serve as the wrap-up for the golf team as well. And we'll end with what you guys have all been waiting for, the notable performances and amazing plays from the fall season.
Mr. Crowley, a CHS science teacher, is also a major sports fan, and he was kind enough to take time out of his busy schedule to expound upon the physics behind cheerleading.
That's right, folks. I was lucky enough to catch up with the professor in an exclusive interview in The Physics of Cheerleading. Take a look.
Appreciate it, guys. I'm honored to be here with a very special guest, Mr. Crowley, a science teacher from Cohasset High School, and he will explain for you guys the physics of cheerleading. But first, to clear some language up for you guys, the flyer in cheerleading is the person who is hoisted up into the air, while the base is the person who is holding the flyer up. Now, I'll let my special guest star take center stage. What do you got for us, Mr. Crowley?
Thank you, Matthew. First of all, to explain the concept of work, how it relates to cheerleading. Work is just a change of energy, but we can say work is force times the distance. Force, the mass times the gravitational attraction, or we could say mass times the gravity times the distance that we're going to move. And if we were to take the average cheerleader, we'll give her a mass of 50 kilograms. We have our 9.8 meters per second squared constant. 2 meters would be the distance that she's going to be lifted up. And you work out that equation, you're going to get 980 joules of energy involved. Now, we also want to take a look at what has happened once the girl cheerleader has been lifted up. The base person holding her up must withstand this force of over 490 newtons. As you can see from the calculations here, we get our value of 490 newtons. And finally, momentum, which is our mass times the velocity, that's going to come into play. And we'd like to compare the momentum that the young lady is going to be feeling. We'll compare it perhaps to a football.
Yes, sir.
And what you're going to find out, if a cheerleader executes her backflip at about 10 kilometers per hour, and we would find out she'd have a momentum of about 140 kilograms meters per second squared. That's the same amount of momentum that if you threw a football, it would be over 700 miles per hour.
Wow, that's great stuff, Mr. Crowley. We can see that there's more to cheerleading than just pom-poms and chants.
It certainly is.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to Jack Stanganelli and fellow student Tim Kevinara for the help with calculations. For 143 TV and the CSPN, I'm Matthew McCormick. Back to the studio.
Great stuff, guys. Up next, we have the season of the boys soccer team.
Under the direction of Coach Jim "The Bald Eagle" Willis, the Cohasset Skippers cruised to a 12-7-2 record before being knocked out by Seekonk in the third round of the state tournament.
Our very own Jack Stanganelli caught up with Mr. Willis, who gave his insight on a successful campaign.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with head coach of the boys varsity soccer team, Jim Willis. How are you?
Great.
Alrighty. Describe what it was like to have 13 seniors as part of your team.
It's a little intimidating to have that many seniors on a team, but it's great in the sense that most of them, almost all of them, had played together for years. We had quite a group that had been, many of these kids, 8 of them had been with me since 8th grade. So it's been very gratifying to see them all grow up together. That said, it was very difficult to find them all minutes and get them all into games as much as they'd like. But luckily this group was just eager to come and be part of the process and make everybody better, so it worked out great.
At what point did you realize that you had a special group of players?
I always have a special group of players. But I think it was nice early in the season, especially the first Norwell game where we beat Norwell for the first time. And we've tied them a few times, but we hadn't beaten them in 5 or 6 years. So that was and I think also a few of the preseason scrimmages you could see as they started to play together that this group was going to be pretty good.
I know that you switched up the roster and formation at many points during the season, and your players found themselves playing different positions that they weren't accustomed to. How were they able to make what seemed to be a very smooth transition and adjustment to these new positions, and what impact did the changes have on the team?
I think that because of injuries, we did have to move people around a little bit, but in the end, our system and the way we play, we're playing 10 people on offense and 10 people on defense, and really, no matter where you are on the field, the requirements are the same. The basic skills are the same, the basic philosophy is the same. You just need to learn. I mean, some people play in different spots because of their athletic ability, but really, if you know how to play soccer, you can play any one of the 10 positions on our field and do just fine.
Which win or wins do you think that you will remember from this season?
I think the Norwell win that I already mentioned was great. The senior night win was fantastic just because it was fun to watch all the seniors get in and see some guys who maybe didn't play as much thrive and score goals. Certainly my favorite 2 wins were the East Bridgewater win at the end of the season, where we went up there in the Hurricane and beat them 3-1 and at least took a share of the league title away from them by doing that. And then the win against Monomoy here. We had gone down to Monomoy, we won 1-0. They came up here, we tied 1-1. They come up here for the playoffs, and we tie through double overtime and go to penalty kicks, and that was and winning on penalty kicks again was a special win. So I'd say those 2, all 3 of those were certainly memorable.
How do you feel about the playoff loss to Seekonk, especially considering the officiating controversy that ensued?
It's never fun to get bounced out of a tournament, and to lose 1-0 is very difficult. And to lose 1-0 on a penalty kick that's called early in the game, in a game that's that tight, is even more frustrating, and it was certainly tough to take. On the other hand, you know, we talk all the time about if you play 0-0 and 1-1 games all the time, you better score at some point, or that can happen to you. And we had opportunities to tie or win, or at least take that to overtime, that we didn't take advantage of. And so when you play that close and when you don't take advantage of your opportunities, that kind of a rough call can take a game away from you, and that's what happened.
Coach John Duggan led the JV team to its 2nd consecutive undefeated season, and his squad hasn't lost in over 30 contests. Why has the JV program been so successful as of late?
Well, I actually talked about this a little bit at the banquet. I think there are 3 main reasons. That number 1, Coach Duggan's a great coach. He gets kids fired up to play. He really gets kids invested in trying to. You know, he had 24 kids. It is so difficult to get 24 kids into every game, but he somehow managed to do it. Keep them excited, make them feel like they were part of something special, and that I don't think enough JV coaches make their kids realize that it matters and that JV games are great. We have a lot of young talent because we have such a deep program. I mean, Tangerlini and Brown and Getz have been taking up our forward spots for 2-3 years now, so there hasn't been a lot of room. So each year there have been some younger kids who have been able to step in and score a lot of goals at forward at the JV level, and that helps. And then I think having some of the older kids' leadership on the JV team, we had a few juniors and sophomores that really kind of, they set the tone. They create a lot of great team chemistry, and they really make it worthwhile.
What are your expectations for next season, given the new players that you will be forced to assimilate and the returning talent?
We have a lot of very good young talent. We had 13 seniors. 4 or 5 of them started at various times. For us, the biggest thing is to replace the forwards. We have to find scoring. So if some of the young kids can come in and score goals and develop a knack for finding the net, we're going to be pretty good, I think, because we're going to return almost the whole defense and defensive midfield and our keeper. So that speaks well. But we have to find somebody who can score goals and replace the senior scoring that we lost.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on another successful season, and good luck next year. Thank you very much. For 143 TV, I'm Jack Stanganelli.
Thanks, Jack. Now, Matthew, I think it's about that time.
What time do you mean, Anthony?
I think it's trivia time.
Absolutely. It's time for the second trivia question of the night, brought to you again by 143 TV. The second trivia question for you guys is, how many South Shore League All-Stars did the boys soccer team have this season? We'll give you guys a second to think that over.
And if you guessed D, 3, congratulations, you're actually right this time.
We hope you guys fared better on the second trivia question. But now we shall take a gander at the season of the Lady Skippers soccer squad, who they had a tough season this year, but they have many young stars and a bright future is ahead of them. Head coach Deb Beal caught up with my partner Anthony in another exclusive interview.
Thanks. I'm here with Coach Beal, the girls soccer team. Coach Beal, congratulations on a great season.
Thank you very much.
My first question for you, in your season, could you describe maybe an X factor who helped carry this team throughout the year?
Well, one of the major advantages that we had this fall was that we didn't have a goalkeeper coming into the season. We had Kristen Alexander, who had stepped up last year. She's a senior, and she had stepped up to play last year. But I knew that she wanted to get back onto the field, and we didn't have that one kid who wanted to play goalie. And Bree Crow stepped up, and she said, you know, I'll try it. I'll do the best I can. And we got her some help. We got a former coach of mine who specializes in goalkeeping, and he helped out with her tremendously. He worked with her every single day, breaking down the skills and building up her confidence. And the turn that kid made from just August to the finish of the season in November was outstanding. So I'd say that Bree Crow is my X factor for sure.
That's fantastic, and she had a great season. Could you describe, I know you had a young team coming into this year, could you describe maybe some of the advantages and also some of the challenges that you faced during the year?
We did. We had a very young team. We had a very talented freshman class come in, and I wish I could have taken them all, but I had to carry a team of 12 seniors, 12 kids who had put their time in the program. So when the freshmen came in, yeah, they were talented, they were great, but I couldn't take them all.
Right.
So I took the Rosano twins, Emily and Meg. I took Shay Kearney and Kate Gibbons, and each one of them brought something different to the team. The Rosanos are natural soccer players. They're outstanding. Shay Kearney's just an athlete. And then Kate Gibbons was a kid who can run, can cover the field, did a really, really nice job, and we found her a spot when Charlotte got injured. So bringing in those kids who were so talented and then meshing them with what we already had, that was where the problems ensued, and that's where we struggled a little bit. But as the season progressed and everybody kind of got their feet on the ground, I think that was good. So having those freshmen come up now and get 1 year under their belt is tremendous for us.
And since you're going to be building a little bit around these freshmen, what are your hopes for the future, maybe next season, years to come?
Getting those freshmen to take leadership roles. They're very, very talented. And when I can mesh them in with my sophomores, you know, Emmy McGoldrick, who's going to be a junior, and then Callie Shanley, and we have Bree back. So I just think that building the program, they play defense. You know, Emily plays sweeper, Meg plays outside back, and Kate plays the other outside back, and Shay will play anywhere. So I can spread them among the field and be pretty successful with them, I think.
That's good. And we understand on a lighter note that you played the football team at the end of the season. Could you just describe what went on in that game?
That's all Coach A's brainchild. He loves to do that. He loves to play field hockey. He loves to play soccer. And I think it's outstanding the way he can mesh these kids together. Yeah, freshmen were intimidated, and they're like, no, I don't think I really want to do that. But, you know, seniors like Kate Suki and Kristen Alexander were like, bring it on. Let's get it done. So it was a lot of fun. It's a good way, I think. We're such a tight community here at Cohasset that I think it's outstanding that we take the time to do that with the kids. It's a lot of fun.
That's good. Congratulations.
Thank you
Good luck
very
in the
much.
future.
Yep.
For CSPN and 143, I'm Anthony Nahill, and back to the studio. Thanks to Miss Beal for her time. And now we're going to show our new segment known as By the Numbers, which will serve as our wrap-up for the golf team.
The first number we have at home for you guys is lucky number 13. This is the amount of wins the Skippers accumulated this season to only 1 loss. Definitely an impressive campaign by the boys.
And next up, we have the number 3. This is the number of hours an average golf match takes. It's clearly quite a commitment.
Now we have 5. 5 is the amount of eagles that the team knocked in collectively as a group. Great job, guys.
Our next number is 38.7. This is the average 9-hole score of senior captain Connor O'Brien.
On the same note, we have the number 30. This is Connor's best score this season, which he achieved on a par 3 course at Rockland.
And finally, we come to 28. This is the amount of wins that the golf squad has racked up over the past 2 seasons. Quite a feat, fellas.
Clearly, it was an astounding year for the boys golfers.
And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the highlights of the notable performances and amazing plays from this past fall season.
The first segment will be our notable performances. This segment is designed to shout out to those athletes who had particularly impressive performances in their respective meets or games, the C's of the season, if you will.
Our first notable performance is from the Haggerty brothers, Shane and Chris. And here's Chris dropping back, finding Shane in the back corner of the end zone. One more time, This is on the play action for the Haggerty connection, which burned the Bulldogs secondary. These 3 Haggerty touchdowns sparked a 19-point fourth-quarter homecoming comeback. And on the final touchdown, Chris avoids the rush and drops an absolute dime to wide-open Shane, who strolls in for the touchdown.
The next notable performance we have is the boys soccer team as a team against Hull on senior night. Here we see a long throw into the mixer by center back Joe Buckley, and striker Nick Tangolini cleans up the mess flawlessly to put Cohasset up 2-0. Minutes later, my very own partner Anthony Nahill fired a cross into the box, which was finished by striker Connor Getz. At game's end, the Skippers had tallied an amazing 8 goals while allowing only 2 to the Hull Pirates.
Our next notable performance is from the cross-country squad. In the South Shore League meet, junior Julian Geyer finished 13th and freshman all-star Kalia Ramos finished 4th.
And finally, the last notable performance we come to is arguably the greatest performance of the entire fall season, fullback Ryan Gillis' decimation of the Hull defense on Thanksgiving Day. Here we see Gillis on the counter trap up the middle, and 82 yards later, Ryan finds himself in the end zone. Gillis also had an reception touchdown on the day, which you will see right now on the toss from Chris Haggerty, and those were 2 of his 3 total TDs on the day. He was extremely efficient as a rusher. On 7 carries, he ran for 142 yards, and as we stated earlier in the show, an astounding 20.3 yards per carry average. No doubt, Gillis was a huge factor in the Skippers' victory.
To conclude our fall flashback, we're going to treat you to the most seedly plays from this fall season. The first amazing play comes from Shane Haggerty, channeling his inner Devin Hester. Haggerty returns his punt 87 yards to the promised land.
That's right, Anthony. Now we have an amazing play from the girls' soccer team versus Carver. Off the corner, Kristen Alexander finishes a brilliant header for a goal to tie the game at 1-1.
And our third amazing play is from the field hockey team, as Christina Tedeschi flies down the field on a fast break, and she finds Katie Gilman wide open for the finish.
Next up on the amazing playlist is Sam Morris's absolutely lovely ball from the sideline that is put in the goal by a header from Andrew Barrett against Hull on senior night. Fantastic use of the noggin by the talented Barrett.
The next amazing play we have is from running back Tim Gillis, who gets the pitch and rumbles his way through the defense en route to a 71-yard touchdown score.
And the final amazing play occurred in the boys soccer team's first round victory over Monomoy in the state tournament. Here we see a kick save and a beauty by keeper Patrick Federley, sealing the deal for the Skippers in penalty kicks. That was some fantastic footage. Thanks to our editors for putting in the work.
And that's a wrap for our fall flashback. We hope you guys had as much fun tonight as we did, and we'll keep you posted on future episodes on our CSPN Facebook page.
We'd like to give a huge shout out to our technical crew. People don't really understand how much work actually goes into a production like this. We'd also like to thank you viewers at home for tuning into CSPN, your news source for Cohasset Athletics. For my partner Anthony Nahill, I'm Matthew McCormick. Until next time, keep it classy, Cohasset.